how do you see this playing out? Do the head coaching gigs need to be filled first? Or is there going to be somebody who's also talking about a head coaching job saying, you know what, I kind of dig this OC gig more, and they're going to jump in and turn down a head coaching job? What's the timing on all of this for the Lions fans and the Chargers fans? All of them were wondering who their next offensive coordinator is going to be, just as an example.
It's a great point, because I honestly have had multiple conversations today with coaches in the NFL, some of whom are on lame duck staffs. Remember, over a quarter of the league fired their head coach. So you currently have 9 staffs. Some of the owners have given those people permission to interview for other jobs.
Right.
Other owners, GMs, have said, we're holding on to you until we get the next guy. We're not just going to let our staff get raided. So people start to get antsy. But it is January 16th. We can't even do the in-person interviews with currently employed coaches until Monday. And so what I've been telling everyone is just exercise some patience here, because you're talking about the OC jobs that are open, Rich. So we've got Tampa, Detroit, the Chargers, the Eagles. The Chiefs don't have Matt Nagy under contract. The Commanders already hired David Blau, promoted him from within, and that's because Detroit was willing to hire Blau, who used to be a quarterback there. So that's 6. You have 9 staffs, that's 15. You can count on 2, 3, 4 offensive coordinators getting jobs. Now all of a sudden you're talking about 17 to 19 new offensive coordinators in 2026. There is so much movement that needs to take place. And one thing that you're seeing, this has become more commonplace in recent years, is teams conducting head coaching interviews with candidates that realistically are probably more likely to be offensive or defensive coordinator candidates. Take Tennessee, who now, I believe, as of the end of this weekend, will have interviewed like 18 candidates, 13 or 14 of which are former NFL, or in the case of Jeff Hafley, college head coaches. So it's very clear they are prioritizing experience. They want people who've done it. Is Brian Daboll really going to be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans? Is Jonathan Gannon going to be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans? In both cases, with respect to those guys, I would say probably not, but they certainly, in Daboll's case, could be the OC, and Gannon is going to be a hot defensive coordinator candidate. Mike McDaniel is interviewing. He's interviewed for 4 head coaching jobs so far. I believe there's going to be a 5th interview for Mike McDaniel. He simultaneously is interviewed for the Lions offensive coordinator job. And I believe that between the Eagles, the Bucks, the Chargers, there's a bunch of teams that would like to hire Mike as their OC as well. So those decisions you're talking to are real things that need to be worked through here. But because there are so many OC jobs out there, and there are so many of the candidates for those jobs that also are interviewing for head coaching jobs, the coordinator jobs are probably going to fill a little bit more slowly. In other words, a Mike McDaniel is going to want to know he doesn't have a head coaching opportunity before he just goes and jumps and takes, let's say, the Lions offensive coordinator job. These are all moving parts, Rich. There are, of course, issues under the Rooney Rule in terms of qualifying interviews that need to take place before you can hire. The only 3 teams that, as of today, can hire their head coaches are the Giants, the Titans, and the Falcons. Those teams are in position to move swiftly as we get through this weekend and into the start of next week. But a lot of teams have an interest in at least speaking to some of those candidates that, by rule, if you are employed by an NFL team, you can't interview until this coming Monday. They at least want to go through that portion of the process. I believe that you will see the hires really pick up, probably not Monday, but as we get into the middle to end of next week, you could see a bunch of these vacancies filled.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.